Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Baroness Scotland unfazed in the face of challenge for top Commonwealth job. This story takes a lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Wednesday, 1st June 2022. Details when we return.
Hubbard's Multi-Department Mount Gay and Hubbard's Tire Bay, located at the Building Supplies compound in Grand Anse, are reminding the motoring public that another round for licensing and inspection has begun. Just arrived on new shipments of quality furrowed and torque tires to fit all makes and models of vehicles at competitive pricing. Shop early to avoid the hassle of long lines. WhatsApp them on 473-405-5482. Hubbard's, quality service, affordable prices.
Welcome back. Commonwealth Secretary General Baroness Patricia Scotland is unfazed in the face of challenge for the post by Jamaica's Foreign Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith. Baroness Scotland spoke with ABS News on Monday on the sidelines of a major Commonwealth workshop at the Royalton Resort. ABS's Garfield Burford reports.
Baroness Scotland is the first female Secretary General of the 54-member Commonwealth, a diverse grouping of nations covering parts of Africa, North America, the Caribbean, South Pacific, and Asia. Now she's facing a challenge for the post, stoking headlines and heightened interest around the grouping. The United Kingdom, India, and some CARICOM countries have already supported her rival, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith. So we asked Baroness Scotland about her views on the upcoming elections.
I am delighted that so much warm support has continued. You know, a lot of people like to chat. I don't like to chat, I like to do. And when the leaders meet in Kigali, it'll be their decision behind closed doors, and whatever people are chatting about now will be just that, chat.
A shot across the bow, certainly, one which will resonate across the capitals of the 54-member nations. Her rival, Senator Johnson-Smith, is also confident, believing she has already received the numbers needed to take the position. Meanwhile, Baroness Scotland insists now is not the time for the grouping to be divided.
The one thing our region and our Commonwealth does not need now is to be divided. We have to be one. In Antigua, we say all of we is one. Well, all Commonwealth, all 54 countries, we need to be one now and make the fight not between ourselves, but against those things that are threatening the whole world, because we need to fight to deliver the SDGs. That's my concentration. I'm concentrating on nothing else than serving the people I love, all 2.5 billion of them.
Baroness Scotland says this is crucial in the economic recovery of the countries of the grouping amidst multiple perils. This is where she points to what she believes has been one of her successes leading the Secretariat.
We know that we have moved the Commonwealth advantage in business, making it cheaper, faster and better from 19% to 21%. We've got more than 27% investment. We've tripled that in the last 6 years since I've been Secretary General. But how do we push that up to 30%? So that it's cheaper, better, faster, easier for us to trade one with another. We've got to trade if we have to repair the damage that has come to us through climate change, through COVID, through the loss of our economy. But look at what's happening in Ukraine and Russia now. Food security, gas and oil. We are in for a fight of our lives.
Will this passionate push help to sway some countries ahead of the vote in Rwanda's capital, Kigali, next month? The Commonwealth waits with bated breath for the results.
Former head of the Police Service Commission in Trinidad and Tobago, Professor Ramesh Diosaran, says he's not surprised by reports of staff shortages, dysfunction and insubordination at the Integrity Commission. In fact, he tells TV6 several critical entities are operating in the same disarray. Professor Diosaran spoke with TV6's Nicole M. Romney on the matter on Tuesday.
The Integrity Commission acts as the watchdog to examine the assets, liabilities and registrable assets of people in public life. However, reports suggest insubordination, incidents of missing files and resignations over plans to evaluate staff performance and more. Today, Professor Diosaran says a similar problem occurred at the Police Service Commission. According to him, those in authority have turned a deaf ear to what's going on. He tells us the Integrity Commission appears to have power, but it's a facade.
Because you call in the commission, in this recent case now the Integrity Commission, independent, and you give them extensive powers under Section 5, and you also give them powers to inquire into people's declarations. But the declarations are just appear like a paper tiger. They just are printed in the press, and there's no follow-up. Nobody has essentially been found guilty of transgressing the Integrity in Public Life Act, whether it's a politician or a member of any other public body.
Professor Diosaran believes the law is ambiguous and needs to be clear on what the powers of the Integrity Commission truly are. What specifically would you recommend is done to treat with the disarray and dysfunction that we are seeing at these commissions?
Well, you cannot jump willy-nilly and in an intemperate manner because the legislation is there. And as I was implying, the legislation in effect appear contradictory because you give these commissions, especially the Integrity Commission, certain powers that the commission shall do this, shall prosecute and shall do this, and shall hire investigators, for example. But yet the registrar, as published, rehired someone that the commission dismissed for apparent and alleged inefficiency. So who is the master? You cannot have a legislation with two masters.
Nicole M. Romani, TV6 News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Still from Trinidad and Tobago, God was displeased with the PNM. Things went wrong, says Reverend Stephanie Washington John, and the party lost the December 6, 2021 THA elections. Reverend Stephanie Washington John is calling on the PNM members and supporters to be honest and admit things went wrong and God was not happy. She spoke on Sunday night during the PNM Tobago Council's Thanksgiving service themed Rekindling the Fire. More from Elizabeth Williams of TV6 News.
Let us have little prayer cells where people pray fervently and put the party to God, and let us be honest with ourselves. Things went wrong. Let us never for 1 minute forget that. Things went wrong and God was displeased.
Political leader of the PNM Tobago Council, Ansel Dennis, agreed that the PNM fold in the Sister Isle at times did not obey the constitution of the party.
Because if we are honest with ourselves, and as we look back and we look at some of the mistakes that were made, we must admit that at times we did not follow our constitution and at times we strayed from the right path.
Dennis said it is a difficult time to be PNM, as many were losing their jobs because of the color of their jerseys. Also speaking at the Thanksgiving service, Minority Leader Kelvin Morris said, with the party not being as financially viable as before, members must be their brother's keeper.
We are in a time where many of our brothers and sisters, they are losing employment, they are losing contracts, they are losing income. And it means those of us who are in a position to assist in one way or the other, we are called to do that kind of reaching out, that kind of support.
Elizabeth Williams, TV6 News.
Jamaica's Agriculture Society seem very concerned that some retailers are engaging in price gouging of agricultural imports. More in this report with Sandy Williams of TVJ News.
In recent months, the prices of agricultural inputs such as fertilizers and insecticides have been steadily rising. The driving factors, supply chain issues and the war in Ukraine. President of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, Lenworth Fulton, believes some local stores have been increasing their prices too much. It's why he wants a survey of farm input prices to be conducted.
Well, I think they should do a survey which would give information and to expose those who are overdoing it. I think a survey now is necessary. With all what is happening, we have not seen a survey. I don't know who would be responsible for doing the survey, but it would give information and it would make us more sure-footed in our planning. We need information right now.
The government has been providing subsidies to farmers to cushion the effects of the rising prices. But Mr. Fullerton says so far the subsidies have not tempered the increase.
The community of Viewfort in St. Lucia was the scene of a fatal shooting on Saturday night. The victim, 21, Jesus Blanchard, from West Hall Group, was shot several times about his body. Members of the community who knew the 21-year-old said he was not associated with gangs and violence. The shooting death of Blanchard, given the community's impression of him, has led to an outcry for the perpetrators to be brought to justice. Solange Alfred of HTS News Force reports.
A small bar in the community of Viewfort would become the latest location to suffer the wrath of gun-wielding intruders. On Monday afternoon, around 12:15 p.m., police was summoned once again to Hospital Road, where on Saturday, 21-year-old Jesus Blanchard lost his life to gun violence. Law enforcement has now launched another investigation into the circumstances surrounding Monday afternoon's shooting that resulted in one man having to be taken to hospital. Streets were cordoned off as police canvassed the neighborhood to ensure safety and gather crucial evidence to help in solving the latest shooting incident. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force urges anyone with information regarding the fatal shooting in Viewfort on Saturday night and the shooting on Monday afternoon to contact the Viewfort Police Station at 456-3905 or the crime hotline at 45-CRIME for anonymous reporting. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.
The Bahamas is reporting that there are no cases of monkeypox up to this time. More in this ZNS News item.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness assuring the public that there are no confirmed cases of monkeypox here. The Ministry of Health issuing a press release today revealing, though, that the National Disaster Surveillance Unit is monitoring an individual who arrived in the Bahamas last weekend with a travel history of locations where outbreaks have occurred. That individual has been placed in isolation and samples have been obtained for processing. Health officials say the male, who is in his mid-30s, has had significant resolutions of his signs and symptoms. His only known contact is his wife, who is not showing any signs of the disease. The World Health Organization has confirmed that nearly 200 cases of monkeypox has been reported in more than 20 countries worldwide. Symptoms of monkeypox include skin rash, fever, headache, backache, swollen lymph nodes, chills, and exhaustion. Symptoms can last for 2 to 4 weeks, and the death rate associated with the disease is low, ranging between 3 to 6% of persons infected. The Ministry of Health has issued an EPO alert, which has been sent to physicians across the country to continue surveillance for any persons who may present with signs and symptoms of monkeypox. Any person who feels they have these symptoms is asked to practice health and safety protocols, including the wearing of face masks and hand sanitization. You can also contact your physician or visit the nearest public health clinic for an evaluation.
Hubbard's Multi-Department Mount Gay and Hubbard's Tire Bay, located at the Building Supplies Compound in Grand Anse, are reminding the motoring public that another round for licensing and inspection has begun. Just arrived on new shipments of quality furrowed and torque tires to fit all makes and models of vehicles at competitive pricing. Shop early to avoid the hassle of long lines. WhatsApp them on 473-405-5482. Hubbard's, quality service, affordable prices.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.